Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir Sponsor Nishmas Rabbi Yaakov Nabas Yitzchok. We're holding in Metzia Daf Samech Beis. We're starting Samech Alpha with Beis in the two dots towards the last quarter of the Daf. The Gemara quotes the Mishnah Zutar Beis Amar Peres Ketzel Lokachem Chitim Din Azov. We talk about the case of the Mishnah, which is the Gemara, and this Daf is going to come and discuss. And the Gemara just asked before the introduction of the Mishnah is Ezu Tarbis. What is Tarbis? We go on to say. Says the Gemara Atukol Hayin Damrin Adhashto. So what do we mention at the beginning of the Mishnah? The beginning of the Mishnah started. Someone who lends a seller for 5, that's also ribis. Says the Gemara, the first part of the Mishnah was Divrei Torah. From here on, it's Darabana. That's what changes. Till here, the father lend ribis, he needs to give it back. But if he died, the children, we should call them in tzaddikim, they can benefit and enjoy. They don't have to give it back. Meaning till here, only the first part of the Raisa. Just a rule for the Mishnah. The first part of the Mishnah, second part of the Mishnah, it's always a din that the father needs to pay it back, not the children. The first part of the Mishnah is ribis ktsutso. It's ribis deraisa. But mikan ve'elach is ribis of avak ribis, not a real ribis. Ribis ktsutsa means it's called a real ribis. You're giving money for money, and avak ribis is just the dust of ribis. Says the Gemara. Now the Gemara goes on and says, 1 second. What's the difference between ribis ktsutsa and avak ribis? Ribis ktsutsa you go to base, you take it back from the lender. Avak ribis ain't a yotze b'dayanim. But the second part of the Mishnah, the only ribis derabanan is not yotze b'dayanim. Rabbi Yochanan says that even ribis ktsutsa, the ribis deraisa, which we give in the Mishnah, it's also you cannot take it out of dayanim. What's the reason, Rabbi Yochanan? Someone who gave nesher tarbis, he's not going to live. It's called to say, so he did such a bad thing, he's not going to live. So we dash the punishment of ribis is death. Not paying back. Don't take nesher tarbis. Be afraid of Hashem. It's for fear of God, not for paying back. Learn from the pasuk itself. All the malvaribis are mukash to a, because it says moisumas in the pasuk in Yecheskel. So you're comparing someone who's lending beribis to someone who kills, to a murderer. There's no paying back. After someone kills, he can't pay it back. Someone takes ribis, he can't take it back. What's the reason of blows that says you do have to pay it back? It says in the pasuk that the brother will live with you. Could bring you back in order for him to live with you. What he's going to do, he's going to learn a different drasha. So in the meantime, we have your big machlekes regarding ribis. You have to give it back or not. This goes back to the machlekes we showed you mentioned the previous daf. Is this a din moment? Reuben is holding on to the moment of Shimon, or just an isser? It's not a moment. Shimon agreed to give the money to Reuben, but Reuben is over isser, so there's no really taking it after him. It's not that he stole from him. That's a pashut way to understand the two tzaddim of the Gemara, which leads to the machlekes Rishonim. Just to mention also, we have the big question. The Rishonim point out that kol mil David olamachon loisavid yovin me'ani loy me'ani. It's machlekes Gemara tomorrow. If the Torah says not to do something, does it work or not work? In our case, we have Xeros HaKossos over here. Does it work or not work? So we follow the Xeros HaKossos by ribis, regardless of what we hold in other places in the Torah. So the way it's going to do with the idea of you have to live with your brother. For the following price. 2 people walking in the way. One of them has a jug of water. If they both drink, they can both get down. It's not enough to support both. One of them, if he drinks, he will be able to reach his destination. They should divide the water, because if one takes the water for himself, he's causing his friend to die. Reb Chaim Brisker, famously the first Reb Chaim on the Rambam, brings a riot from here that you're not allowed to murder even indirectly, even by not doing any ma'aseh. Because this guy takes the water for himself, his friend is dying on his own. Even without a mice, he's causing death. It's also. You have over here a special person can tell you that one needs to allow, his life comes first. Who's dashing this? Rabbi Akiva. And this goes to the big, we have another big, famous Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says, right? By the son, we have Rabbi Akiva that speaks of the Klal Gadol Torah that you have to love your friend like yourself. So, first you point out, how does these two things stem together? You have to love your friend like yourself. On the other hand, you come first. So how does both of them work? So Pashup Shat, Be'ez Hashem, the Shur Machshav will go into it a little bit more. But Pashup Shat, the answer is that you have to love your friend like yourself, meaning that you and your friend will be equal, but not that your friend will be more than you. So if you have now a choice, you're either going to live or your friend is going to live. You have to choose who's going to live. So if you're going to give your friend, so your friend will be more than you. Now, the Chayach is a chiddush that your life comes first. So you could say, give the jug of water to both, and they both will die. Because the idea of life that you have to come and prefer your life and others. Especially because of usually equate your friend to yourself. But when it comes to your life, you have to give your life first. Okay. Second one, Mason warms a question. They leave him money for ribis. The father died, and the children inherited the money of ribis. They know it's ribis. They don't have to give it back. The father doesn't have to give it back. Question on Rabbi Yochanan. Really, the father doesn't have to give it back either. When we see the next part, we learn all this besides Bava Kamo. He left them a cow or clothing or anything specific that everybody recognizes. It's for the honor of the father to go and give it back. That's what it says. Also, the ratio of the Mishnah on their saying about them, they don't have to give it back, but really the father also doesn't have to give it back. Why do they have to give it back? This is really a question of Bava Kamo. It says that only someone, you're not allowed to curse somebody, meaning you're not allowed to hurt somebody, only if he's this person was Malva Berevis, he was over Avera. Someone could do my Pinchas read the Rava B'Shas the Tshuva, Hachanai B'Shas the Tshuva. He did Tshuva. So Rashi says Pinchas read the Rava is the war with Chagigo. We talked about there that when the Ganav gives back the Chayfetz, the Yirach Chosh V'Tumo, he did Tshuva. He also true my Baigabe wasn't doing by him. Shall he speak Lachzir Chemes? No, he did have time to give it back. Therefore, the children, now the question is they have to give it back or not. Ribbis, they don't have to give back. Dover Misuim, they do. Someone may see Ribis, Albi Shigovu Machziru. The thieves and the lenders, even though they extracted the money, they have to give it back. Someone goes, what do you mean they extracted the money? What do you mean? If they stole it, they stole it. If they didn't steal it, if they extracted the money, if they didn't extract the money, there was no gazel. The thieves, that they are the ones who are lending beribis. Even though they took the money back, they give it back. So you see over here like Rabbi Eliezer. Says the Gemara, Tanoit, this Machlik Zebechim and Blessed is Machlik Tanoit. The Tanya, Bcheni, Blessed, Ben Yaakov, Poitrim, it's a Malve, it's an Orev. They are pointer, the Malve and the Orev from what? From a lav. Right? What they have a kumase. What's the kumase? They have to pay back. My kumase, right? They talk about, they say they're potter. Why they're potter? Because they're potter from Malchus because they have to give it back anyway. So you see, Michal Telekama Sover, love their journey. No, Mashra Telekama holds, you don't have to give it back. My love, right? So what do you see over here? You see that's about Maklekes. So look, my kumase likoyashtar. The semi is not to give it back, but when you have a loan, they have to come and just tear the star and say there's no loan over here. So Microsoft, if you hold the star which is about to be extracted is already extracted, it's already done deal. If you like, what's even the tzad? I'll give you a lav, Malchus, because if you didn't take the money yet, you didn't do anything wrong. So it says, like we hold the Kabbalah throughout Shas, that a shtar which you're about to extract money, as long as you didn't extract money, is not there yet. This is the big yisoid here that the Rishonim point out. By Ribbis, the Shuma is the issue. What's the Shuma? The fact that you said, Reuben said to Shimon, I'm lending you 100, you need to give back 120. That assumption of what money it is, that is already an issue of Ribbis. So that makes sense. It says in the Mishnah. Who's over in the loisase? Hamalve, the lender, Va'aloiv, the borrower, Va'arev, and the Arev, who is the guarantor. Va'etim. Everybody did a maise. What do you mean? The Malva give the money to the borrower, and the Arev is involved either by doing a kinyan or by giving it back. What did they even do? You see, just by putting the shuma, by just saying you owe this money, that's already the answer, and the Eidim were involved in that because they are signed on a shtar that says that I have to pay more. Says the Gemara, Omar Safro called Shilu Bedinem Moitzim Malve Miloiv Malve. He gives a rule. Whatever by the goyim you take away from the borrower to the lender, so in our dinim you give it back. But wherever by the goyim you don't take the money from the borrower to the lender, so by us you don't give it from the lender to the borrower. So that's the rule. It's a rule. Rashi says, right? So the Gemara is going to ask, the Gemara is going to explain. It says the Gemara, the close out a rule. Seyo b'seyo means you, as we spoke about in the beginning of the previous year, seyo b'seyo means you give wheat, one sale wheat, to give back a sale wheat. That's a good deal. I'm giving you a sale of wheat to give back a sale of wheat. By us, it's a ribis derabana. You don't take it back, even though the wheat increased the value. This is Kimito's Begotten. What does it mean? It says Rashi, Inu kimad busel besel min aloy v'lamalve loy b'tos ribis kamag. It's not a ribis. Ela b'tos pikodon u'beinim. It's like a deposit. The sale must be it's like sale. In other words, it's not a din of a loan. He says like this: I'm giving you. It's like, if you want to compare it to us, someone goes to his neighbor and borrows a jar of honey. The next day he gives back a jar of honey. It's not a loan. I'm just giving you, took on and giving you back honey. That's how you treat it. Don't treat it as a loan. So that's why there, you do take it out, but that doesn't go into our rule. So what is that? Rashi, you lend money on a vineyard, and he's eating the fruits. Right? What happens here? The lender is lending money to the borrower. The lender is giving the borrower, says, I'm going to give you a vineyard to use, and I'm going to give you money. I'm going to take a vineyard to be collateral. In the meantime, the lender is enjoying the fruits of the vineyard. The borrower gives back the money, he gives back the vineyard. But the lender got back his money plus the grapes. For us, that's a ribis. That's called mashkanto, a collateral. But without giving any discount for what you're eating. The name would seem to but the name, the loiv does have to give it to the malve. That's the base on top. Or with the name of if you don't give it back, that's considered to be out of because it's not part of the money. But then there's like a sale. What does it mean? Meaning the guy says, I'm lending you money. In the meantime, you're selling me your vineyard. I'm going to enjoy it. You give me back the money, I'm selling it to you back. I don't look at it as a loan. And look, so what does the Savik telling us? That's just going to teach us. Whatever they take for them, we have to give it back. Meaning, a ribis deraisa, that there you have to pay it back. So by us, you have to give it back. Whatever they don't take for them, by us, they'll give it back. We're going to learn later. What's ribis mucheres? Ribis mucheres is A guy wants to get a big loan from his friend. So he sends him a nice gift 2 weeks before. Then he comes and says, can you give me a loan? It's a ribis mukdebis, right before the loan started. Ribis mucheres, the loan was paid back. The borrower is so grateful to the lender giving the money. 2 weeks later, he sends him a gift. That's called ribis mucheres. That, there's no, in the dini of Mekach or Memkar by the Goyim, they don't extract that. That's a gift. That's just between the borrower and the lender. We hold it's usher, but you don't take it out. So we want to say, we're not talking about here ribis derabanan, which they don't even treat to be a loan. Talk about a loan. By the loan, the actual ribis, they extract the base did. So by us, we also take it back like Rebbe Lezer. But any additional bonuses that come with the loan, that they don't take it based in, and we don't take it out from the lender, even according to Rebbe Lezer. Okay, now we're going back to the Mishnah. The Mishnah said the following. So we spoke about in the Mishnah, again, Rashi, we mentioned the Mishnah. Rashi learns, we're talking about that Reuven came to Shimon, and he gave him wheat. And the wheat is worth 25. Shimon has wheat, says Rashi. Shimon has wheat. So Reuben tells Shimon, you give me back wheat later. Then the wheat comes up to 30. Can Shimon pay back the wheat? The answer is yes, according to Rashi, because he had wheat to begin with. Whenever you give that idea of wheat, and he already has it in his storage, he can give it back. But the problem is now, Shimon says to Reuben, I'm not going to give you back the wheat. I want to keep the wheat. I'll give you wine. But I'm not going to give you wine for the money. You gave me 25. You gave me a wheat worth 25. I'll make the wine worth 30. And he doesn't have the wine by him. Here becomes a ribis derabanan. That's what Rashi learns. Tosfos learns that even in the beginning, the first part, the wheat that he gave, he didn't have wheat. Now let's see it. Says the Gemara, v'chiein lo yain may have it. Even though it doesn't have wine, v'atanyo, says the Braiso, a poiskin la peres ha'cheitz ha'shar. Don't make an agreement to pay back fruits unless the shar came out, meaning the shar means the value, the rate in the market of what this is worth. Yotza shar, the shar came out, everybody knows you could buy this wine for this and this amount, for 30. Poiskim, I'll be shameless. Oh, so here's where I have a problem. Who cares if Shimon doesn't have wine? Does anybody else have wine? And you could buy the wine for 30? So even though Shimon right now doesn't have wine worth of 30, he could go to anybody, he could go to any store and buy a wine. So it's not really Alvo. This is really more Mekach or Memkar. Reuven already has the wine of Shimon. Even though Shimon does not hold the wine right now, it's a 2-second thing for him to get the wine. Talk about Balachuv B'Demeim. So according to Rashi, this is really what more until now. Talking about that he doesn't have the wine. Let's see Rashi. He didn't give him money of the wheat. He wants to say, I'm not giving you back now anything. I just owe you money. Right, the wheat is worth 30. I'm accepting on myself the wheat. I'll give you the wine, the worth of it, which is 30. If you have wine, no problem. Doesn't have wine. So here is where Rashi differentiates. So he says the Lashon of the Gemara doesn't sound like chance. Rashi takes a little different than Rashi. Let's focus on Rashi's shop. Rashi says like this: if Reuben gives Shimon money and he tells him, I want you to pay me wine. And right now I can go buy wine anywhere. It's fine. Why? Because Shimon can take the money he got from Reuben and buy wine immediately. So there's no really a benefit of waiting. But if Reuben didn't give Shimon money, like in our case, Reuben gave the wheat before. It's an obligation. Shimon owes Reuben the wheat. He doesn't want to give it back, doesn't have it right now, whatever the case is. So now what is he using for the wine? That obligation. He doesn't have the money to go buy the wine right now. He just has obligation. The obligation, that is what's called avagribus derabanan. So a person owes already money to his friend. He stands on the groin. So the lender comes, Reuben the lender comes to Shimon and says, Shimon, I want my money back. I need to buy some wheat. He says, you know what, I have wheat. He says, you owe me money. I owe you money. I have wheat. So the wheat is yours. Let me give you. I don't want to pay you right away because I need it now. You need wheat because you want to put it in your storage and feed your family for 12 months. I will give you every month. I'll give you a small portion. I will give you the wheat for 12 months. Also, that's also. He didn't get money from him. If we were giving money to Shimon, so then Shimon with his money could go buy wheat. So Shimon says, the money is acquiring the wheat that I have by me. I'll pay it to you throughout 12 months. That's fine. But Reuben is not giving money to Shimon. Reuben is just giving a obligation. It's going to Shimon and says, you owe me money. That obligation you want to turn into wheat. That is really a choy. That's not a mekach or memkar. And that's Esr Ribis Derabban. If that's the case, so why are we saying in our Mishnah that Shimon doesn't have wine? Even if he had wine. But when Reuben is coming to Shimon, he's not giving him money. He's saying, remember the wheat I gave you a month ago? I want the wheat back. So okay, the wheat was worth 25, now it's worth 30. I'm going to give you wine. You can't do that because he didn't give him money. So why is the Mishnah pointing out that Shimon doesn't have the wine? Even if Shimon does have the wine. If Reuben comes with obligation only, it does not work. Elomar Abaye. Says Abaye, the pshah is like this. Our case is like Rav Safra explained, when you learn ribis in the Beis Medrash of Rav Chia. The time of Safra, the ribis of Rav Chia. Rav Safra said the following thing. Some things are mutar, but they're also because it's a trick of ribis. What is it? Ketzat. Amar loy, let's say this case. Amar alveni money, I want you to lend me a money. Amale, money ainli, chitin money yeshli. I want you, give me please money. I need $100. I don't have $100. I have wheat worth $100. Shani noten I'll give it to you. Nasole chitin b'money. He did chitin money. Now let's take a break from the Gemara for a second, because we'll just say it outside first, and then we'll see how it fits in the Gemara. Let's speak about this case. Talk about it now, right now. Start with three people. Reuven gives Shimon wheat worth $100. Shimon tries to sell the wheat. He's not such a big seicher. He's not able to find a buyer for $100. He's able to find a buyer for $95. That's all he gets. Does he still owe Reuven $100? Absolutely yes. Because the wheat was worth $100. He gave a discount. Right? And it has nothing to do with Reuven. So in that case, this 100% glad kosher. Reuven gives Shimon a wheat worth $100. Shimon sells it to Levi for $95. He pays back Reuven the $95 that he got plus $5. It doesn't matter. He owes $100 to Reuven. Now the case that we're going to speak about is when Reuven himself goes and buys for Shimon. Reuven is a trickster. He knows Shimon is not a great seicher. He tells Reuven, it's Shimon, take $100 of wheat. Shimon's trying to sell it. Reuven comes to him and says, let me buy it from you. I'll buy it from you for $95. Shimon still owes money to Reuven. How much? $100. But here it looks like ribis. Because Reuven gave Shimon $95 for the wheat. And Shimon gives back to him $100. Shimon received $95 and gave back $100. Even though in the bigger picture, it was two different transactions. Reuven gave Shimon wheat, and Shimon gave back wheat. Reuven gave Shimon wheat worth $100. Shimon gave back $100 to Reuven. That's one thing. Shimon sold to Reuven at a discount wheat, nothing to do with the loan. But here, that's the problem, which is called haromas ribis. It's a trick of ribis. So again, I'm not have any money. Give me a loan of $100. I don't have $100. I have wheat worth $100. So he gave him $100 worth of wheat. Every month is 25 selah. Comes Reuven and buys it back from Shimon, buys the wheat for 24 selah. It's $96. Mutter. It's mutter because there's nothing to do with the loan. You're tricking the ribis. Because at the end of the day, Reuven's giving Shimon 25 and Shimon's giving 100, even though it's two different transactions. Hachanami, here's the case of our Mishnah, says Abai. Comes Shimon to Reuven and says, please lend me 30 dinar. Only shloshim dinarim ain't. I don't have 30 dinar. But I have wheat worth 30 dinar. I'll give it to you. He gave him 30 dinar. Now, what it says in the Mishnah, the 25, that's when Reuven bought the wheat back from Shimon. So Reuven gave Shimon worth of 30 dinar. Shimon gave it back to Reuven for 25. Now, if Shimon has wine in his house, which is worth 30 dinner. So he gave him wheat, and he acquires immediately the wine which is in the house of Shimon. Because Shimon has wine worth 30. That's in lieu in exchange for the wheat. But if Shimon does not own wine, if he doesn't have wine by him, and he's taking money from him, mix the ribbis, that's the Aromas ribbis. Because what happens over here is Shimon is taking 25 from Reuven, and he's giving him back 30, right? Because of the different transaction, because of the gift that he gave it to him. But at the end of the day, that's what he's doing. So that's the case of our Mishnah. Amalei Rava, Yachi, ten lichitai. Says, I want my wheat back. I'm not asking for the wheat. He's asking for the money of the wheat. Because that was the deal. I'm giving you the wheat to give you back money. Says, well, you're right. Tani d'mei chitai. Shani Shani says, Shani roitze lemoichon. I want to sell it. The sale already happened. I don't want to sell the wheat. I sold you the wheat. I want the money. You're right. It was sold already. Your wheat, the Mishnah of the Mishnah was, your wheat is going to be considered to be 30. That's the beginning of the transaction. I sold it for 30. I'm buying it for you for 25. So now they give him 30 dinar, but I'm giving to you for what you sold to me for 30. So, okay, I'll give it to you for wine. I don't have wine. What do you mean he's giving for wine? He's just selling you for 25. Look at the last question of Rashi. According to you, the shah was 30. The fact that he discounted, the other guy discounted. So what it says over here, the biggest issue is the lush of the Mishnah. The shah is not dir zav. The shah is 30. He's just giving him a discount. Let's go back into the lush of the Mishnah. How do the Mishnah says? Ketzat. If you have the Gemara, open it back to Samachot base. He gave him chita for dinar zav. First of all, the Tracer points out. He gave it to him for 30. But I'm talking about that the Shimon sold it back for dinar zav. Here's the problem, it's not a shar. The shar is 30, he's just giving him a discount. That's also not a problem. This points out, it increased the value. It did not increase the value, it was always 30. This is a very, according to Abaye, this losh of the Mishnah is very hard because it's coming later. But it's going back to it says, I won back my wheat. And which is worth, that I sold to you for 30. And I will take yain. It's becoming 30. According to the Mishnah, not becoming 30, it's already 30. The more said I have to fix the lashon. And this for me, for you, wine, meaning the wine. I don't have wine, it's also. So according to Abaye, you have to change the shirts of the Mishnah. And the biggest problem the Mishnah feels, the Gemara says, is almost like a knockout punch, is that we talk about two different sharing, two different rates. The way you read the Mishnah, the rate of the wheat went from 25 to 30, and that's the problem. According to Abaye, the rate did not change. It was always 30. The 25 that we have is the discount the Shimon gave Reuven. But according to Abaye, what's the case of the Mishnah? Reuven took wheat, which is 30, it's still worth 30. He gave it back to Reuven for 25 because he gave him a discount. So now we have a Ramas Ribbis for Shimon to pay back the full value to Reuven because he got 25 money and he gave me back 30 money, even though 25 money has nothing to do with the transaction that happened to Reuven and Shimon. That's the case according to Abaye. But the problem is the Mishnah. So first of all, if we have, as the Gemara points out, the Lashonis of the Mishnah don't really add up. Part of we're not even discussing it, that the order of the story is not even written right according to Abaye. But many of the Lashonis of the Mishnah don't fit. But the biggest problem in the Mishnah according to Abaye is that our Mishnah talks about two sharing, two different rates. It was 25, it was 30. According to Abaye, that never changed. It was always 30 from beginning to end. It was always 30. He just, when Shimon sold it to Reuven, he gave him a discount for 25. But the rate of the shar did not change. So that's why Rava disagrees with Abaye. Rava's going to say another pshat, which we'll learn based on show in the next daf. According to, it says Rava, your pshat in the Mishnah doesn't fit because according to you, the shar never changed. And our Mishnah clearly says there's two shar, and there's a shar of 25, and there's a shar of 30. And according to Abaye, there was never 2 Shorim. It was always a Shah 30 from beginning to end. And that's the biggest doichak according to Abaye, even though many of those Shorim were already a problem according to Abaye. We'll stop over here, continue Beis Hashem in the next daf.